It's that time again. It's time for the weekly stream. So this is a new stream starting now every Saturday at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be doing track review. So sort of zoned out and we started at 3:05, but that's okay. So let me just check into the... Did I forward this to myself? Yeah. So the official place to send your tracks is send to woulg-approved@gmail.com. Let's make this nice and big so everybody can read it real nice and well. Right. Let's put that there. While I start downloading the tracks. So, what do we got here? Whoa. Oops. Okay, we got 3 new tracks, I think. Maybe not. Hard to say. Okay. Yeah, I guess I can just bring this in here. Fuck it. Okay, so... no track. Okay. Brocco. Okay. Alright, we'll read that later. Romanowicz. Oh, sweet. Okay, that's cool. I'm talking to this guy on Facebook for quite some time now. So that's cool. Oh, we got this guy from Sofia in Bulgaria. That's cool. I should probably read that email, but maybe I'll do that off screen. Okay, so... And then what else we got? We got Jonathan. It's not available. Okay. Okay, and then nobody else wrote back. Okay, cool. So, and then... Oh, here we go. We also got one from Jack Lyon. Or 2, actually. Okay, here we go. So, let's see if anybody's in the stream yet. Yo, nice. Romanowicz is here. I'm gonna refresh this page, actually. Okay. Cool. Alright, well, Romanowicz, since it seems you're the only one here for now, suppose let's just do your track first. Maybe Saturdays are not the day. I don't know. Who knows? That's okay. Romanowicz. Hold on, let me plug in my subpack.tm. So we can really hear the bass. Bass. Okay. All right. Great. Let's check it out. Damn. All right, that was fucking huge. Yeah, no doubt. Okay, I need to get a glass of water because I forgot to grab one before we started because I was distracted doing something. All right, but fuck, this is good. Okay, hold on, let me sign in. Make sure to follow you. Okay, let me put on some background music for a sec while I go grab something to drink. The build-up is way too long anyway, or miss some variation. Keep up things. Oh, okay, yeah, we can talk about that for sure. Let me just play a track to distract us while I get something to drink. Or actually, let's just listen to the track again. It's really good, so... Okay. Alright, okay. I like this synth sound. I like that, like, ta-da! Oh, wicked. Okay, so I don't think this build-up is too long at all. I think you could add more tension to the build-up. I quite like the mood that's there already. So I maybe wouldn't go overboard with building the tension, but like a little bit more could do a bit of good, I think. So, for example, that's really classy that like you build up into it and then when the beat comes in you don't give them the big kick drum. That's a really classy move. Yeah, so I mean the thing is I wouldn't go overboard with the tension because you do have a really good flow here. This is nice too. You know what, you could detune this a little bit. That like a little bit of detuning can help build the tension a little bit. So you have that one sound that kind of brings you into this new section, but here as we're building. So from like so you could build the tension from a sound design kind of side or from like a musical side. So one kind of, without getting into any sort of music theory stuff, one way of kind of adding a little bit of like is just to go up in notes. And then there'll be some notes in there that, yeah, I'm purposely trying to avoid the music theory talk, but there'll be some notes in there that will feel a little bit more like and then when you like, I mean, don't go that far, obviously, but like that sort of thing can help build tension. You could also, because this is a very heavy section here, like. Yeah, I mean, I kind of... don't get me lost on the subject of music theory stuff, but like, yeah, I honestly I don't really think it's necessary to get too super music theory about it, but I was kind of playing around with the idea of doing like a crash course in music theory for once in a while. But anyways, so whatever. So the other thing that you can do is kind of like increase the speed, like the speed of the beat, by like adding a little bit more hits in there. I don't know if that's the right approach for this particular track. Then the other way is from the sound design perspective, like when things get more noisy, when there's more high frequency sounds, and also when things kind of come out of tune, like either pitching things up or pitching things down, that can really give a good sense of tension. That might help a little bit, but you have there's a lot of these really subtle things going on here, these subtle tricks of like building and releasing tension, which I think are really, really working for you in this track. This is probably the only spot where I would, like, here. Now that fucking works. That's really nice. You could build into it a little bit more. There's another trick that you could do is like if you ever have a melody that you want to like build up the melody, you can flatten it and copy it over, copy it as another layer and pitch that layer up by an octave, and then just slowly bring that in, and that'll give sort of the feeling of like that it gives a little bit of movement because there's like this kind of there's this change over time. Really, I think like a big part of creating the sense of movement in a track is like making it so when something starts changing, the listener kind of knows where the good old octave up trick. The listener knows where you're headed with that change, but and then like taking your time to get there, because when the listener can hear right away, like, okay, I know we're going here, then you're kind of like you're you know, I guess childlike part of your brain is like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there? You know, and that feeling of like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Is sort of like part of that thing of building tension and of creating a sense of movement within a track. As far as this drop thing goes, well, not drop, but you know what I mean. Yeah, Griffith mentioned predictability. I think so. The idea is like either so with predictability stuff, it's like for whole tricks, like you're not getting what you're looking for just a tiny bit later. Yeah, exactly. So like with predictable stuff, like that sort of that directional thing, or the movement thing. You can either go full tilt into what they're expecting, or if you set up a set of expectations and then you fuck with those expectations, that can be interesting too. But the thing is that like if you don't set up a set of expectations and you just do something weird, it's not really gonna feel like it's not as effective, I find. So first sort of like setting up some expectations within the track itself and then fucking with them, I think is like a really effective way of doing it. In this drop bit, one of the things I would recommend is a little bit more play between the feeling of slow things and the feeling of quick things. That can take the form of like not an actual drum fill, but like the sort of the idea of a drum fill, where like, so say you have like like that change in the speed. That was a really fucking shit example, but you get the idea. That shit, or not that change in the sort of the feeling of the beat, the feeling of the speed of the beat, can add a lot of like dynamic change into a section like this. You have sort of something like this right here. So that like that backwards little thing that like sort of speeds up, that's sort of an example of that. That it can take the form of any sounds, right? But just that feeling of things sort of speeding up and slowing down. And the great thing about this kind of music is like, or the great thing about a fun way of doing this too is like take a fill, like you take a sound that's supposed to, take a certain amount of time, and then like say for it to line up for 16th notes, it would take like this amount of time, but then you sort of condense it, and then within your fill you make it speed up to like kind of be too slow or something, and then catch up, and it creates this really nice set of like little mini polyrhythms and stuff. You're all good, Bronco. We're just getting started here. Although you missed a stankin' track. Nice. Yeah. So this that sort of thing, those little like kind of polyrhythmic sort of things can bring a lot of interest, and it's a nice way of playing with the feeling of the speed of the track without actually changing the actual tempo. And you can lean into that even more too, like with the slow parts as well. So here you have like so on these big hits you have to like which is really cool. It might be nice to like on one or two of them to just do like like to kind of switch that up a little bit. Yeah, this track's a beast. Oh yeah, Bronco, check out this sound. Such a sick moment there. Anyways, but yeah, I think the track is really working. I think that's the only thing to think about in here is like playing a little bit with the sense of speed. Would add a little bit more kind of, that sort of shit. And then yeah, I would maybe just play with detuning this nice little synth, but totally not necessary. Yeah, so that was a really awesome track, and now I'm following you. Okay, so who else we got in here? Jack Lyon, you in here? We got this is, wait, what's your name again? Griffith. Yeah, let's just do Griffith's tracks. Okay, let me just make a new live set. Downloads. Okay, let's do this one first. So yeah, so thanks Ramona Witch for sending in that track. Okay, let's check this out. Let me know if this is distorting or anything like that. Nice. Yeah. Hey, Clark. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. That was a nice little trick there. Okay, so I'm not super pro at this kind of thing, but with this kind of buildup that you have here, I think you might need to also build it up with some other layer. Like you're kind of doing that here. You're adding the other thing. Like I think you can double this up with. Oh yeah, actually here this is kind of an idea for this. Okay, let me just see. Let me just try to figure out what the tempo is, just roughly. Oops. Okay, so we're at like 143, something like that. Okay, good enough. 143. Okay, so what I think you could kind of get away with is like, so. This sort of thing. Not this exactly, but I just mean like with the melody. Why is this not working for me? You see, to like kind of make the melody kind of speed up as well. That'll kind of help a little bit. I think you can also probably get away with like, what's the, you could also maybe get away with something like this type of, like, let's say we just take this quickly, consolidate, and then yeah, this old chestnut, I would take it like this and then maybe, I don't know, widen it somehow, or maybe grain delay, expanding, and then do we pitch it up already? Yeah. And then we could do like, oh, maybe we'd want to take out the lows here. Even something like this, and then just like slowly introduce it, maybe even like this. Oops. Like, we're gonna have to do that a bit faster. Oh, maybe a little bit louder. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Like what Glorklunk said is some of the kind of muffled and not tight and rap beating. Like we fixed with EQ or compression. The piano just feels a bit too. It's always bad, but it seems like you want. Yeah, that's the other thing I was gonna say. Okay, so anyway, so let me just finish this thought, and then we'll kind of get over to that. So, in this kind of shit, I think you can like just kind of keep fucking with it. You might even be able to do something like this, where you take this kind of thing and then just like, I don't know, maybe texture mode or something. So. To add sort of another layer of that kind of stuff. Fuck, we can even pitch it up again. Or, you know, like automate this even. I don't know if this is really gonna work, but whatever. Yeah, something like that. And then for this, like, you know, how we were sort of talking about the tightness of the beat and the piano. I wonder if you could just kind of get away with, like, even something simple like this. Yeah, no, Glork was right. You're gonna want to like reinforce that snare in some way. I mean, it might be as simple as actually, let's just try this really quick, just for shits and giggles. Oh, now we're fucking peaking, but yeah, that's not working. Okay. But yeah, so even taking something like really straightforward just to layer over top of it, that's not really a good one. Nice, that one's fucking huge. Okay, so then say we take something like this. This is probably way too fucking huge for this, but whatever. Oh. And my drums are layered, it's a whip. Okay, cool. Yeah, you got that shit. Alright, no worries. Other than that, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, those kind of moments are really nice. What else? Yeah, you might want to switch some stuff up with the melody and stuff. Overall, I think it's working. Like it feels cool. It's like a cool, chill vibe, but with like a kind of a monster bass synth in there. yeah, I think this one's cool. Yeah, just the build-up stuff I think could go a long way. I mean, you wouldn't even really be able to get away with something like this. Oops. Oh yeah, now we're all fucked off the grid, but anyways. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of want to. I wish I didn't fuck this up so profoundly. 144. There we go. Let's fucking be here. Kind of want to see something. What am I thinking of? I wonder if like little edits like fuck you, fucking shortcut. Just like maybe something like this would be interesting. Just to give it a, like, I think some of that rap feel, hip-hoppy kind of feel might come also too from those kind of, these kind of like more old school type chop ups. Yeah, that kind of turned out nicely. I don't know. Whatever. Something like that. You get the idea. That kind of stuff, maybe it'd be nice. If you want to take it to the glitch zone. You could also, I don't know if that's really your MO, but I don't know, some of this kind of... whatever. That wasn't really the glitch zone, but you get what I mean. I wonder also if like some of this might be interesting to like reverse into, and then say like we cut here. So then, or even just taking a totally different spot for that. Let's take, yeah. You can kind of get, with this kind of stuff, I feel like you can get away with a lot with like these semitone pitch bends, like this kind of stuff that's like slightly out of tune. Because it's sort of, the thing that it makes me think of is like say you're writing a chord progression, and then, yeah, it reminds me of this idea of like a borrowed chord from like the, like borrowing a chord from the minor, or the, you know, if you're in major, borrowing a chord from the minor key, or just, yeah, building or grabbing a key from like a different but related key or something like that. I find it can really spice things up. Like, basically the idea is like hit some wrong notes, and if they're the right wrong notes, then it'll feel like kind of a different, like you went quickly to a different key or something. And that can be kind of interesting sometimes. You can also sometimes get away with like, so this kind of shit can work sometimes. What did I just do? No. I'm almost out of batteries here. Whoops. It keeps dying. Anyways, so yeah, so that kind of thing can help to spice things up. Let's get this cable going. Why is this over here? My headphones are taking. What the fuck? Almost ready. Look. Look. So yeah, or yeah, suspended chords. I don't know enough music theory to tell you if that's the word, the suspended chords. But yeah, whatever you're thinking, that's probably the right idea. You can also go down by. It's probably like too much of this kind of shit, but I don't know. Yeah, fucking around with it, seeing where it goes, seeing where it takes you. Yeah. Oh, right, yeah, so, yeah, let me pull up, what am I going to do this on? Right, so yeah, so I think it's not a suspended chord, because, like, so say in the key of C major, because it's the easiest one to explain shit in, so say this is like a regular triad, so suspended chord would be like this or this, but I'm not talking about a suspended chord. What I'm talking about is like borrowing a chord from another key center. So like, so for example, this would be, or hold on, 1, 2, I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, so like something like this would be a chord from a different key center, and that's like a borrowed chord. It kind of works that like borrowing chords from different things feels different depending on which place you borrow it from. If you borrow a chord, for example, from so here we're in C major. If we borrow a chord from C minor, that's like that's has a certain kind of magical feeling to it. It works especially good if you like go from, you know, say blah blah blah, we go to the fifth, 1, 2, 4 to like the 5, and then we go to the minor, and then we come back home to the major, or vice versa, major minor, whatever. So that kind of thing works quite well. There's kind of a cool sound to that. But what I was thinking more is like if you're playing with the samples themselves and you don't want to get too music theory E, then yeah, you can just experiment with like pitching stuff up and down. So like for example, say for this bit, say we pitch it down or pitch it up by one note, and then we like blend into that. Like right, that sort of thing. It's kind of a trial and error sort of situation, but sometimes you can hit on something that really works. So yeah, so that's kind of what I would recommend playing around with. So let's go now to this track. Okay, so just some things that I thought of while we were listening to this. I'm not going to go too in depth because we did the other one already, but one of the things, I think the hi-hat pattern in here and maybe the hi-hat sounds. You could just use a little bit more variation, I think. Swinging might be interesting in here. they feel a little bit like a little bit stiff. Maybe that's what you're going for. Like you can also play around with that. If you are going for that, I would go for even more stiff. If you're not going for that, I would try to loosen it up a little bit. It just more variation. One of the things that I use almost all, one of the kind of the tricks I use for variation almost all the time is like, so say, let's just use a MIDI track. So say I need to write like, or say I want like a loop or something or a section like this long. So what I'll often do is like I'll write a section this long. So say I have like, here's my 16th notes, whatever. And then what I'll do is I'll duplicate this, and then I'll fuck with this version of the loop. So say for this one I want something like that, and then I want this to happen here, and we'll do one of these and one of those or something. And then I'll take this whole group and duplicate it, and then maybe make one small change here, so something to line up with whatever's happening in the rest of it, and then I'll change this one again. So maybe what I'll do in this case is just rewrite this whole section. So like maybe now we're doing something like this, and then we go like that, and then like this or something like that. So this kind of whole, and now I'm like slowly making the whole thing, right? So now once I've got this whole chunk, just copy paste it, and then how do I fuck with this whole chunk to make it kind of more interest, or like to mess around with it a little bit. And then the other thing that you can do too is like, say a section like this works, you can just kind of copy paste that somewhere else, or like say you like this one, maybe it just keeps going and does the same thing there. Or this section works, so let's paste it over there, but then actually we want to take another part of this and put it here and maybe put that there, and now we have a whole totally different section, right? So now you have a whole bit where it's like constantly changing, but there's enough similarity in there because basically we're just copy pasting the same pattern and just messing around with it, right? And I do that for melodies, I do that for anything basically. It's just kind of if you just do this, like if you just make a loop, it's so tempting to just go like this and then just keep the loop the same the whole time. Because it's like this one extra step of thinking about it to like take out a bit and fuck with it. That's why I find that it's a lot more helpful for me to like copy paste it, so then each one's already individual, and then I can start messing around with it in some other way or something. So now look, we take that bit, copy paste that, and maybe this part we change it, and fucking, I don't know, move it all down a bit and take this part and paste it over here or something. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, so then this, yeah, and then the copy pasting process kind of like makes it easy to make a lot more modulation and stuff, or yeah, just messing around with stuff. Right, and then the bass here, here I think. I think you can play around with like whatever that note is that the sub is playing. I think you can play around with that a bit more. There's actually a really good video here. You've all seen it before, but Adam Mealy, bass reharmonization. This, I mean, all of this is interesting, but I think it's this one where he really talks about
one of the most
powerful
weapons in a bass player's arsenal is the ability to change harmony with bass.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, so watch this, and it'll give you some ideas for like other notes you can hit with your bass. I think also, I mean, we talked about the snare in the chat, obviously. I just wanted to say, like, I think it's maybe I'm too much of like a PC cuck libtard or whatever, but I think like I think it's like really good when you're doing when you're critiquing someone's track to it's not usually helpful to tell somebody that something sucks. Like the snare, sure. I don't personally feel like the snare works super well in this track, but I think that it's I wouldn't say that. I would say, for example, trying out a different snare might make the whole track gel a little bit better, or you might want to. Do you see what I mean? Like that, those kind of little changes can help. And I really want everybody to jump in with their own stuff so we can all chat about this stuff together. But and maybe it's just me with my super fragile ego or whatever. but I've definitely been discouraged in the past when somebody was like, "Oh, this thing sucks," and I'm like, "You just don't understand," and then I like stick to my guns, which is the worst option because then we all end up with worse shit, right? So I think like it's worth it to be like, hey, maybe you're just thinking about how to phrase those kind of critiques. Don't get too bogged down in it, obviously. Just speak your mind, be free. But yeah, the other thing on the sound design tip, I think I'm not a huge fan of the kick drum. It kind of works okay for me in the context of the rest of the beat, but when it's by itself, or when it's without the bass, yeah, it just feels really big. Oops, where is it? So what I would do in this context, this isn't gonna make any sense here, but like I think I would try something a little bit shorter for the kick drum. Let's say like just a little bit tighter sort of thing. Yeah, I know, Glork, I know you were joking and it's all good, everybody's happy now, but it just made me think of that. I wasn't worried about that particular thing. But yeah, so I think like a shorter snare might maybe work a little bit better, or maybe it's the tuning of it or something. I don't know. Something about that snare doesn't quite work for me in this particular context. Or the kick, sorry, doesn't work for me in this context. Otherwise, I think a lot of the stuff that applied to this one also applies to this one. Like making some changes in the pitch could work. We talked about the snare in this one. We talked about the hi-hats in this one also. I think all of that applies here. And then the build-ups also, like it works better here, I think. But it still be erosion for sure. That erosion will give you that really fluffy kind of distortion that takes away a lot of the punch. And it kind of erosion really degrades quickly into just being kind of like kind of noise. So yeah, maybe a little bit less of that. Try different distortions, and try layering like a distorted sound over a not distorted sound, stuff like that. Yeah, so I don't know. I think that's it. I think from like a personal taste standpoint, I kind of prefer this track from this one, but whatever. It's not really that relevant. Cool. So now, where are we at with the track review? Okay. Jack Lyon, you in here? Who do we got in here? Who's sent tracks? Hunky Dingus. Did you send one? You said you were gonna send one, I think. Oh, here we go. We got one from Brocco, Austin, not IDM. Okay, I'll take that into consideration. Brocco, extremely early whip. Ooh, I like the sounds of that. Wicked. Okay, cool. So, Austin. Okay. I have to go to the bathroom. Oh yeah. So anybody who missed it, let's listen to this one again. Yeah, we did this one earlier. Yeah, I think the snare really fits in this one. I really like those like little kind of snares. There's little kind of reminds me of like early or like burial type. Okay. All right. Let's check out the Euro waxing. the doubling still happening? Oops. I'm not really sure how to fix that, to be honest. This is a fucking sweet track too, though. Oh, there it is. Figured it out. Okay. Should we listen to it again? Yeah, fuck it, let's just listen to it again. Sorry about the doubling thing. I like this track, it's cool. It's got like a... The hi-hat and the snare stuff, percussion, it's so nice. What's addicting drums? This is great. Oh, cool. Really cool. Nice. Oh, I have to try that out. Whoa. Is it a beast to download? Yeah, fuck. Such a nice mood in this too. Like there's kind of no... Doesn't feel like there's like a lead melody, but it really sets the mood anyways. It's really nice. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Feels very new though, for sure. Wow, that was really cool. What would I say for this track? Maybe the intro you could work on a little bit more. I mean, you could overall like it might be nice for. I mean, yeah, I don't think it needs it, but you might it might be interesting to go somewhere a little bit different at one point. You know, maybe introducing a different instrument and then getting rid of it, or like, or maybe the down 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 down, or however it goes. Maybe that changes at some point or something. The intro, I think you could. Let me think about it. I don't know. This is pretty cool. Kind of want to glitch that track out a bit and see what's happening. Yeah, that could be a fun experiment for sure. This kind of stuff I think is pretty hard to glitch out, but it's definitely worth trying. Yeah, and everything like gels really nicely together. Squeezy glitches. Oh, okay, yeah. You know what? I kind of feel like this track could. Yeah, I think I brought this up in the last track review too. But like, remember this? You guys remember this track "Moth" by Burial and Fortet? Fortet. This track just kind of rolls for like a really long time. Like. It's not really any like breaks. This kind of thing, that little like, you know how it changes from, and then we have like, that could be super helpful I think in this kind of track to have like a moment where it goes somewhere slightly different. But yeah, this track just kind of rolls like the whole time. It's just kind of going, and I think that could work here too. Like I don't necessarily think that you have to go to a part. Like, I don't think you have to, like... I don't think it really has to cut out. Or at least not the kick. Like, you could just keep going with the kick in this part, I think. Or maybe when you take it out, like... Take it out just for a little bit or something. Just because the track has such a smooth, like vibe that just kind of keeps going. I think it's like not necessary to like stop the drums entirely at any point, or like stop the drum, but like stop the kick, you know. You could also like. I mean, I really like how these sections develop. Yeah, like this part could go for fucking way longer. Here I would drop back into the boom, 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 boom. Like, and just keep it fucking rolling. Yeah, it really works though. It really, really works. Reminds me a little bit of I can't remember the name of the artist. There was like a bunch of stuff on. What's that fucking record label called? Untold. No. What's his name? Music. No. God damn it. It's not RNS. It's like another UK label that had like some cool stuff like that a long time ago. That's what I like about this too, is that it feels like a new. This very much feels new, and the sounds are really like refined and polished. It like it has it. Yeah, it really fucking works for me. Cool. Okay. This track was not found. Okay, so maybe you remove that one. Let's just double check. Okay. All right. So that one's not there. That's fine. All right. Yeah. All in all, really, really cool. Really cool vibes. That was really fun. Yeah. Yeah. The track like that. Yeah. All right. Let's do this BFNK one, and then we'll do your second one. Ooh, heavy hearted. Ooh, okay, cool. Exciting. Okay. Super early. Bronco wants us to know it's super early. Early version. Trying not to get excited. Ooh. Oh, it's so slow. That's so nice. Oh. Ooh. Yeah, this has legs for sure. This is gonna be interesting. The sounds are really interesting. They're very they remind me a little bit of like a cross between like some sort of cyberpunk kind of interface or something, like some sort of weird futuristic kind of hacker interface or something. And then some of them are really like almost in that psytrance territory, but it's like a much more interesting use of them. I really like that down down down. I like how you're really like taking your time to sequence everything in a nice way. I think this one, you could get away with one of those like side stick kind of rim snares in here. I don't know if you want to go all the way there, but yeah, this is cool. I'm really interested to hear where it's gonna go. It's crazy how slow you're able to move, but still keep it interesting. That's a really good skill. Yeah, I think this is gonna be good. I don't really know what else to say about this. It's really interesting. There's a nice oh, it's here. That's a really nice move, like harmonically. Oh, to there, that's really great. Yeah. I kind of want to hear it go faster at one point. I don't know if you should do that, but that's kind of my first thought is like, I want to make it go like, or maybe not that, but you get what I mean. Cool. Yeah, that one's really fun. All right, what else we got? Oh, this is Killman. Take a quick listen to some of this. Oops. Okay. Oh, he's on Xenon. Okay, cool. Interesting. Cool. Interesting. Yeah, there's definitely going to be lots of cool sounds to fuck around with that. Yeah, sweet. Sophia. What else we got? Oh, is Jack Lyon, Jake in here? Who's in? I'm gonna send him a message. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's download it. Clear out some room. Okay. Do your track next. Okay. Alright, did we get it? Almost there. Oops. So we'll do this one and the Jack Lyon one. Or one of the ones. Okay. Alright, here we go. Damn. Jeez. Yeah, man, your percussions are fucking really nice. So good. That was really cool. I think the only part of that I'm not crazy about is the vocal. The beat is so like rough. I really like it. It's really. I really like how so with the first time it comes in, it's like life's a bitch. It's like that really makes sense. Nice. I feel like it really makes sense there, but then the rest of it kind of, I don't know, for some reason, I think it's also like the delay on the vocal that for some reason doesn't work for me. Let me just try something. I want it to be. I'm just trying to do something. Yeah, it just sounds like the same thing. I was just thinking I wonder what it would sound like if the vocal was just a bit more pitched down. Even like. No, I don't know if that's it. I don't know if the pitch of it is that it. Damn, I really like your taste though. Your taste in percussion, especially. The production's really nice. You know what it makes me think of a little bit is like Blauan had that whole in that mics, how many mics, mics or something. His one, yeah, here it goes. I really like how in this track, like the vocal's really forward and it's really like I don't know, it's super forward, but it's like there's like no, there's not really any like delay or reverb or anything on it. I think that even just that, changing that in this track, like just taking the delay off of this vocal might help a lot. Also, I really like this thing that Blauan does of like repeating the same line over and over again until it kind of makes you like, you're like, what? What is it saying? I don't think the sub is too loud or anything. I think it fits good. It has a really interesting feeling with the rest of it, and I think it sounds cool in my opinion. Or actually, I don't know if you know this one, Blauan Harbor. I think it's this one. It's just like the same fucking line over and over again. I think there's something really kind of cool about that. I get what you're doing with like the rap a cappella, and I think that works. Like, this is a different style of track, obviously. I just think like it could, something that kind of treatment could work for it as well. Yeah. I don't know. Other than that, I really like this track a lot. Like, I would play this, I think. Except the vocal. Yeah, I don't know about the vocal. That kind of shit is really classy too. Like the little sub, like. Yeah, I think the thing is that like the vocal makes it seem more happy, and the rest of the track is quite dark. I don't know. Thanks. Yeah, it's all about me. Anyways. But it's definitely a cool track. And again, the percussion fucking slams. It's really good. I like how you introduce it. yeah, those snares or claps or whatever the fuck that is are really fucking thick and nice. Yeah, this works. Obviously, this is a track. This is a finished track. Yeah, nice. Okay, so what do we got? Oh yeah, and then we've got. Okay, now we got. Check. Okay, we got Signal Boost Demo by Jack Lyon. I'll follow him. Sure. Yeah, that vocal thing is really cool. One thing I would say is I feel like there's like a distortion on the master or something that's like crisping up all the high frequency stuff, and I feel like that you could like tilt the EQ of the whole track like this way. Right now it feels like it's a bit like this, and I feel like it'd be tilted at like so the boost the low and cut the high cut the highs. I feel like, and then keep the mids like the same. I think that would be nice. It's kind of a vibey track, and then it's so like crispy in the high end. I feel like you could go like a note lower with your... Oh, here. Right. What's the note I'm thinking of? So many great sounds in here too. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff going on in here. I think this section feels a bit more like glitchy and kind of my taste. This one feels a little bit more yeah, it sounds out of it. Okay, that's really interesting. I want to see the. I want to listen to the other one. I think this is really cool. The really crispy high frequencies are a little bit distracting to me, but I think the track itself is really interesting. There's an interesting flow to it too. Like it doesn't. I feel like it kind of works like a reggae song or something. Oh, that's cool. That's really nice. Wow. Fuck. Damn, this is cool. This is cool too. Oh yeah. Yeah, same. Ooh. Yeah. Super precise. Let me get this section. I want to hear this bit again. This, I feel like we should come back to this moment. It's so nice. Especially this. That also, I feel like that you could, the reverb from that could be louder because it feels like we're going into a new space with that. That's really cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I feel like you could also go deeper into this, like the more up tempo, up, like it's quicker little stuff. Like you kind of tease it, but then you never really go there. Like, go all the way for a second. There's one other thing I want to point out. I think it's from here. This. That moment can last way longer, I think. That could be like a... You know, like you could just fucking cut it for like a whole... I don't know how long you cut it for, but like a bar. I think you could get away with a bar. And just let it fucking sit for a bit before we go back into it. That like beat structure feels good too. Like some of these things are, I feel like you could lean into them a little bit further. There's a lot of really cool ideas in here, and I think like overall the track works, but there's so many of these little moments that I think it would make sense to like dive into a couple of them a bit deeper, you know? Like this little beat, I feel like could go on a little bit longer. And then to your left. There you go. Where's that fucking thing? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, back to it. Yeah, I think just taking not all of your changes, but like taking some of the changes and just spread, like pulling them apart, you know, seeing what's in there, trying out different variations. And it's a pretty short track, you know, you've got just about 3 minutes here. I think there's room for sure for some of those deviations into like a lot of those little pockets of goodness that you've got in there. Yeah, so sweet. Thanks everybody who submitted a track. Remember, send your tracks here for next week, and I'll see you again next Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Thank you. And goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you. And goodbye. 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 Thank you. Goodbye. And goodbye. 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 Bye. Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.